Gosh, it's been a little while. Hello, everyone. All right, cool. I'm live on Facebook. Fantastic. It's been some time that I have not been on here, and today is Wednesday's online dating, and well, not online dating, but just dating in itself. So I just thought I'd just hop on and I'll do you guys a video because obviously we had every single Tuesday in my group on Facebook, we do the Tuesday topic. Nobody replied until today, which is Wednesday, but that's okay. So I'm here to talk about online dating, and this is Wednesday's dating tips. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to know what you need to think about, especially when you're going into the online dating forum, and why it's so important in knowing this, because many of you guys might be coming out of relationships at the moment that has not served you, or many of you might be in relationships that are not serving you, or many people may have really given themselves some time in terms of their own personal growth and are actually looking, okay, well, how do I really do this? You know, we're quarantined at the moment. And by the way, I've sent out my free copy of How to Date in Quarantine. And I'm telling you right now, you guys have got to get a copy. You've got to subscribe. You've got to get a copy of it. It's absolute amazing. But yeah, I really wanted to jump on here and just say this to you guys, because so many of us feel as though that when we're in relationships that we can't be the person that we need to be, especially when you're starting to date at the very beginning. I know a lot of people will probably say, I don't want to be the crazy person. So I might hold back a little bit, or I just don't want to give myself too much until, you know, and by actually setting yourself up, especially in those predicaments, especially in those circumstances, what you're actually doing is you're limiting yourself, and you're limiting the belief in the other person, or even what it is that you're doing at the moment. So I really wanted to just talk about online dating with every single one of you guys, so you know where I'm coming from. So first, when you're attempting to choose from numerous items at the same time, especially when we tend to make our decisions in different ways, trying to engage in a comparative type of space, especially when it comes to dating sites itself, it can be really difficult, because what we tend to do is that we try to prioritize different qualities, as opposed to when we make a judgment on one individual, as it's most of us often in the case, you know, we enjoy the face-to-face interaction. But secondly, when we're asked to select from a large set of items, as on online dating sites, we tend to really employ less cognitive taxing type of behavior. And this is what the best word to probably say, we get lazy, you know, and our decision making types of strategies is just kind of it's fuzzy, you know, in some ways. And the consequences are that we may make imprudent choices, assessing the individuals on characteristics, especially their attributes, which is always ultimately irrelevant, just to try to determine a relationship satisfaction. So for those considering online dating, I'm going to give you really 5 real simple tips to follow in order to maximize your chances of securing a really successful match, or even somebody that you'd love to pursue in terms of a relationship, or perhaps pursue, you know, something else, you know. But the reason why I really want to talk about it so much, because I don't want anybody to feel as though that they should prevent themselves or stop themselves from what's actually happening at the moment. You see, an opportunity can arise and it can be there for you, as long as you allow it, you allow yourself to be open, and you allow it to be attractive to you. And those of you who are considering the online dating, those of you who are not even considering it at this time, but really would love to take some note from it, I want you to tune in, because here's the thing: your chances of procuring a successful match, whilst it really might seem really dim, successful here means meeting someone with whom you can have a sustained and meaningful relationship. And I don't think what a better time than what we're in at the moment to do that, you know, because there's no pressure in terms of you having to do something, you know, or get intimate with somebody or give yourself to somebody, because right now the ball is really, really in your court. So I'm going to really show you 5 steps in what you should do in terms of not steps, but more like tips, but they're tips and steps anyway, of what you should really, really consider. So the first one, limiting your potential choices. Now, we should limit ourselves to a relatively real small and manageable number of profiles within a certain time frame. And here's the reason why. In light of what it is that I said previously, choosing from a smaller set of potential dates should aid our decision-making process and allowing us to just really select on the criteria more likely to predict our satisfaction with someone once we meet them face to face. And this is the reason why I say this. When you do this, you're not only allowing yourself to really, really get to know the person, but you're actually showing up as you, and you're actually allowing yourself to be the person that you deserve to be. Sorry, you guys, if you see me looking over this, because I'm trying to look and see if there's any comments. But yeah, so limit your potential choices. There's so many different people that's out there in the online dating scheme at the moment. There's so many people out there, you know, fishing for different possibilities. When you go on there, it could be like, oh my gosh, like there's just too much, you know, there's too much to look forward to. There's too much to even look into. This is just too tiresome. And then there's some of you might be really, really, really excited, and then you get really, really tired at the end of it. Or there's some of you are just like, you know what, I don't want to really be alone tonight. You know, yeah, I'll go out for a date with him and stuff. And then you find yourself, you'll then find the whole thing very, very tedious. And then you'll find yourself approaching it very, very lazy, you know. So going in terms of a plan of how to actually online date is really, really key. And these 5 tips would really, really help you in doing that, so you get success from online dating. Okay, so number 2, don't assess using a pointing system. And I need to make this really, really clear. A lot of us would probably go into an online dating and be like, I want this, I want that, I want this, he needs to work, and he needs to do all this, and he needs to do all these different. Stop doing that, okay? And also what I want to say is that if you select your number in terms of the people that you want to actually speak with, what I would also say with you to do is don't develop a pointing system with each person, you know. That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to fall into that place. And don't assess using a pointing system. So 3 different things I need to make clear. Don't have a to-do list. Don't have a long list, but you should have an idea, you know, in terms of what you're looking for, but don't have a to-do list, you know. That's really, really, really key, because when you don't have an expectation of the person can't then disappoint you. So just don't do that, all right? As long as you're fully aware of what it is that you want and you're okay. And that's the reason why I'm telling you guys, get the free checklist when it comes to quarantine, dating in quarantine. It's so key. Once you've got all those different things in there, you know, assessing somebody using a pointing system is not the way to go, okay? And I actually find it, you know, it's just not great. You know, it's not a really great way to go in doing that, because you're just trying to analyze the situation, and it doesn't need to. Because we may be really, really, really also exposed to or inundated with requests from a vast number of online daters, and within a small unit of time we should avoid making decisions as well about potential dates and using points or tally-based system or strategies, or just analyzing it when we don't really need to. Rather, what we should do is make an assessment by imagining how this might work, how enjoyable it would be to just have that face-to-face interaction with the person, with a potential date, because it's like you're building yourself up with the excitement. And the reason why I say face-to-face encounter at the end of it is also great, because you two should have established a conversation. You should have established some messaging sort of system. You should have established, you know, how you want to be communicated to. And by doing that, especially during this time, yeah, by doing that, when the face-to-face encounter then takes place, then it's definitely worthwhile, because you never would keep a conversation with somebody or speak to somebody for so long, or being who you are, if you weren't interested in that person. So Don't assess using a pointing system, you know, just go in flow and just be who you are. Don't try to hide who you are. And if anything that you are hiding, then it's quite clear you need to do some work on yourself. Okay. Number 3, you need to be open-minded. And here's the reason why. Even though online dating sites offer an abundance of choices, you know, and access to a multitude of potential dates, it's really important not to be overwhelmed by the luxury of the choices and to start eliminating people who do not necessarily fulfill all of your desired criteria. Now, it's very important how you apply yourself, because who you get is how you've applied yourself, okay, in doing that. And if some of you guys need help with actually how to do that, then you need to be speaking to me, and we can get on a call and we can talk about that. But this also may involve us taking a reality check from time to time to just avoid adopting a superior type of attitude that results in us eliminating or carrying out or resulting in the elimination of otherwise potential desirable dates. And here, when I say this, we should also avoid developing too many preconceived ideas about potential dates before meeting somebody face to face. You know, key number 4, look for what is distinctive about the person. Now, many people use dating sites. They tend to use it to advertise, you know, generic sort of criterias in terms of their profile. Some people likes to cut and paste from somebody else. Some people might not show you the right photo, or all these different things. But the more true you are, and the more what's the word? Organic you are, and the more I'm trying to find the word. The more natural you are, and the more true you are to yourself and to your values, yeah, that is what you're going to attract. Okay. And if you go in there with a lie, or you go in there with all these different things, you can't then turn around and say, oh, he lied and he didn't say this and he didn't say he looks like this or anything like that, because you did that. Now, I'm not saying that when you're being true, another person isn't going to be true, of course, but when you're actually open and you're honest in terms of what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you want to absolutely attract, by actually cutting it down to the small size that I mentioned to you guys. First step, small size. Second step, don't assess using a pointing system when you're doing that. And number 3, be open-minded with the person. But when you look for what is really, 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 really distinctive about the person, the generic descriptions really don't work, and they're very, very telling, and you can tell them. So that's something to look out for. These generic descriptions, they really tell you very little about the actual person. For example, it's really, really unlikely that you will find many people who don't tell you that they have a good sense of humor, you know. And then, you know, therefore it's really important to try and tease out, you know. I remember, I don't know, I'm just thinking of something. Someone could say they have a really good sense of humor and they just don't have those humor qualities maybe you have. And that's where maybe you could fit in. I'm not saying that you're settling here, but you see how I'm compromising with certain things. And I'm saying to you, please don't go in there with expectations. When you have no expectations, you don't have any disappointments. So, and therefore it's really, really important to try to tease out the rather more distinctive attributes about the person, which online daters advertise, but very rarely people see. And those who don't put that in there and doesn't say it straight out and doesn't be honest in those, then quite clearly, you know, that's not the type of criteria of people that you should be attracting or you should be around. When you identify those features, which will tell you more about the person more specifically, you know, what is their intention, what do they want to do, so look for what this is distinctive. That's really, really, really key. Number 5, so develop your own profile very, very, very carefully. And here's the reason why this should have really been number 1, but the reason why I've left it to the end is because this is key to 1 to 4. Okay, so following on from what I've said, it is equally important that online daters, you have to create an online dating profile carefully. And I want you to emphasize they're more distinctive rather than generic qualities about yourself, and how they differ and stand out from the multitude of others. For example, rather than just saying you have a really good sense of humor, which can mean many things, specify something particular about your own brand of humor. And also, you know, what makes you laugh, what gets you going, what are you passionate about? So if you're a music lover, you say, you know, I'm a music lover, I love to listen to all these different things, I write, I do all these different things here and stuff. That's really good, because you're actually really setting the foundation for a great conversation going on. Online dating, and I need to make this really clear, online dating can take time and it can really take effort. So leaving less time to engage in real life social interaction. It may take some time to find the right person, okay? So using online dating is quite good, but therefore we shouldn't take any easy failure person, easily early failures personally. That's what I mean, okay? And why I say this is so many people give up on online dating very easily, because they're like, you know, what happens, you know, you just walk out there and you just meet somebody. Okay, well, if that was happening, you wouldn't go on online dating. But a lot of people go on online dating for sometimes the wrong reasons. And it's the same, like if you walk out there, you might meet a person and it's the wrong reasons, but you are who you attract, and you attract like for like, you know? So if you're showing up and you're being, and you find out that that person just wasn't trustworthy, trust me, they've done you a favor. So follow the above steps that I mentioned. They are so key when it comes to online dating. And this will actually help you guys to be a lot more successful in the online dating scene. I really want to go and see if there's anybody on here, because I want to make sure there's no comments on here. So let's have a look. Let's have a look on here. And let's see, I just want to make sure that this is really useful for you. So let's see on here. Hi Oyana, thank you so much for joining. And Kwanza Ria, I love your name. Thank you so much for joining. And comment below, you guys. I want to see what your comments are below. I want to see, how does this engage with you? Which part of the steps you absolutely engaged with first? I want to know. So comment below. I read every single one of the comments. And thank you so much for joining my live. Take care, everyone. Bye.